This is the Artist Entrepreneur Podcast. We are your hosts, Amanda Ritchie, Noah Dock, and me, Kerry Wee. We're three artists brought together by the love of circus and dance. Amanda from the world of Cirque du Soleil as an aerial soloist. Noah, our academic, and me from the commercial dance world. This is one of the greatest jobs in the world, but it comes with uncertainty. Each episode contains insight on how to pursue art-based businesses. We'll have a variety of guests and have lively weekly Discord. Tune in every week to hear our perspectives on the minefield that is the artist's way of life. What's going on with this hair?
Every time I have a different hairstyle.
Okay, what'd you do? I can't tell.
I cut it all off.
You did cut it all off. He cut his hair, Bean.
It's about time.
So where are you headed, sir, Mr. Noah?
Going to Mammoth.
You're headed to Mammoth to see the folks. Do a little. There's no snow up there right now. So what does one do? Lakes, hiking.
We're going.
Yes.
Technically, we're going camping for a friend's birthday.
You're going camping, Bean. You want to say hi to Noah?
Hi, mister.
Oh, hi, Bean.
You are mister now.
I'm Mister. I feel like I've always been Mister.
No, you're starting to be mister.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad thing.
Damn.
All right. Oh, my God. She just gave me a full nose of Dorito breath. Okay, come on. Doritos are one of those things that they taste so good, but if you're not the eater, it's like garlic.
That's honestly fair.
Yeah, it's a fair statement. So I'm going to give you my epic update. Okay, it's everything put together, okay? So the last time I talked to you guys, we had just moved. I was going to Ohio for the weekend. Now, the reunion was such a success.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't remember if that was last weekend or this weekend.
The weekend that we just passed, and we had 15 people show up out of 53.
Okay. It's good.
It's pretty good. And because the organizers get their friends to come, it was a lot of my friend group.
Yeah.
So I got to see 4 out of the 5 of my best friends from high school.
Nice.
Yes. One lives in Atlanta, so she didn't make it up. Bean got to see all the 3 houses I grew up in, which are... So the town that I grew up in, I don't know if you had this experience where you grew up, but people take care of their homes so well. Like, the homes don't look different. Like, the home that I was age 3 to 5 in, I drove by it. It looks perfect. Exactly the same.
I think people take care of their homes in Los Angeles, or at least where I grew up in LA, but they're just constantly changing. Like, the house that I grew up in does not look the same because, it's been painted and they've added, new siding to it and this new garage and they've modernized it. Whereas I feel like things on the East Coast, that's the style. The style will be like that forever. We're sticking to it. Don't change.
Well, I'm talking about the outside because I didn't do the shady thing and knock on doors or anything, which I almost did. If I didn't have my kid with me, I would have tried, I think, because people generally are nice there. But so the first one that I grew up in, 3 to 5 years old, was unchanged. The second one, only different color paint. So instead of being dark brown, it was a cream color, an ivory color, and it was beautiful. Really, it's so nice now. And then the one that I was a teenager in, it was a little different, but there's so many, the trees are huge.
Yeah.
Because, it's been however many years. So I was very, very sneaky and I took pictures of all my houses and I ate at Jolly Pirate Donuts, which was my favorite donut shop when I was growing up. I did not get to go to the pizza spot. I didn't get to do a couple things, but it was a success. So happy, so excited. Left Monday morning, went from Columbus to Atlanta, and the goddamn Frontier Airlines stranded us in Atlanta.
Well, yeah, you flew Frontier Airlines.
Yeah.
We're never getting sponsored by Frontier Airlines for the amount of shit that I could talk about Frontier Airlines.
The thing is, they don't really, back in the day, if you got stuck in a city, they would make you whole. They would put you up in a hotel. They would do something.
Frontier Airlines?
No, I'm just saying airlines, period. All the airlines.
No.
All the airlines.
Oh, some of them still do that, but Frontier definitely never would, never will, and never could do that.
Yeah, so I pay for a hotel because they won't rebook. There's nothing to rebook, basically. And this is what I'm learning about San Antonio, and it's going to affect my life majorly, is that there are no straight flights out of here to anywhere that you'd want to go. Not necessarily. Anywhere that I need to go, like where my parents live, where my sister lives, where my hometown is. LA, there are straight flights. But, I'm used to LAX, right?
Yeah.
So I'm used to like the convenience of that, even though it's a pain in the ass to get to LAX. At least you have, it's an international airport. It's got everything. So I'm going to try to make a long story short. We get stuck in Atlanta. I buy ourselves a hotel. By then, Bean is like overstimulated. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really have to take care of her because we haven't eaten well. We're traveling. She's 5.
Yeah.
I scour the internet, just buy myself a one-way. Me and being a one-way, Spirit Airlines has one the next morning. But it's going to be a 10-hour situation because we go to Orlando, wait for 5 hours, and get on a flight to San Antonio. But that's the best option, so I take it. We go to the airport on time. This flight to Orlando just gets pushed 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours. And after a while, I'm like, I'm not going to make my connecting. So they do rebook me, and I fly out. So we stay the night in Atlanta. The next day, we fly it on at 9 p.m., so we stay at the airport the whole day. 9 p.m., we get back to Houston at 10:30 p.m. We don't live in Houston. We know this.
Right.
So Asa gets in his car after work and drives to Houston, picks us up. And we get in the car. Bean throws up all the way home.
Oh, the joys. Oh, the joys.
She throws up all the way home, poor thing. So we stop twice through that drive, which I'm not loving the Houston to San Antonio drive. I have to take that into account every time I want to work in Houston because it's like Vegas in the way that there's nowhere to stop if you have a problem.
It's like 2 hours?
3.5. There's nowhere to stop halfway through there if you get stuck with a flat tire or a gas or you need food. It's hard when you have a kid. You need like
or
to be able to. Yeah. So we make it home by 3:30 a.m. The trip was 40 hours long to get from Ohio to Texas. I could have gone to Tokyo.
You should have just driven.
Well, that's the thing. Being in a car for that long, we've never done that. I would be by myself. Can't swap off drivers. I didn't know that was going to happen, though. That's just why I got on the flight to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And then I could have not flown to. I decided not to fly to Orlando because it would put us even farther.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's not the end of my story. We got home. We sleep. The next day, I'm trying to wash dishes and stuff, and the water stops coming out of the faucet. Noah.
This is in the new place?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
And then I check all the faucets, and I think to myself, when did I turn on this service, and when's the last time I paid it? They turned off our water because I forgot. I know, I forgot to pay for the water bill, and we don't have water right now. Go and finish your meal unless you want to come sit with me, okay? I'm not
Wait,
done.
You still don't have water?
So the water was like dribbling out Wednesday, like late afternoon. By the time I call, it's after 5 and they've closed. I go online and I pay for the bill, which is like $400 something for the last 4 months. It slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
And so that was Wednesday night. Yesterday they said, "Oh, Bean," they said in 2 days we'll come back and turn your water on. So we are at
in 2 days.
Yes, 1 to 2 days. So we're on the second day, and they have not come yet.
What sort of horse shit is that?
We can't even wash our hands.
Can't take a shower.
I feel like they need to be more on top of that shit. Like, you pay the bill, all right, we'll be there tomorrow. That's not a 2-day sort of experience. That's we took care of it. Get the fuck over here.
Yeah. So, of course, I called already and I said, do you guys have an ETA? And there's like no ETA, but it'll happen by today. I'm like, yeah, if you don't have an ETA, I don't believe you. So they said, if it hasn't happened by 3, call back at 3. And Asa just called me. He's like, call back at 2. Okay. So.
No, you're crazy.
All right. Hey, let me do it.
Don't I know it?
So I can't wash my clothes, which is okay.
Which is not.
The dishes are becoming a problem because we've been eating out since last Friday, right? So I'm trying to cook for her. And so now I'm starting to use plastic utensils.
Can't do dishes.
I can't do dishes. They are in the dishwasher sitting, so it's not like a hot mess. Can't flush toilets, obviously.
Which is crazy.
It's not over, Noah.
And we have to leave pee and poo.
The toilet bowl covers are on. And we have 3 toilets, luckily. So Asa can have his own. I can have my own, and Bean can be in mine. And it is not over because Spirit lost my bag. So,
God.
The good...
And I have my favorite
brush in it and some of our favorite clothes. So, but besides clothes, it's not like I put anything important in there. Okay, so the good news is I found a FedEx number and I'm tracking the bag. They have found it, but for a day and a half there was no answer because we know how good...
They actually found it? Spirit Airlines actually found your bag?
They found my bag.
Do you know that you're the first person in human history to have
found their bag?
Their bag found by Spirit Airlines?
I mean, I feel very lucky.
Huge. This is huge. No one who has ever lost a bag by Spirit Airlines has ever had their bag found.
I know. I feel very lucky. I did go on Reddit to go down the list of like how to find your bag because regular customer service is impossible. They won't help you. It's basically AI. So there was a concierge number on Reddit and I called that number. Somebody answered right away and helped me right away find my FedEx number. So the good news is they found my bag and I'm tracking it and they're FedExing it to the nearest FedEx place because the other problem, Noah, I mean, this is not even about entrepreneurism. This is about my freaking life.
Oh, I think I have a way to connect this to being an entrepreneur, so don't worry. Keep on going. I will tie a bow on top of this and to make it entrepreneurial.
So the last part of this is I just moved. So my credit card at the time that I bought the Spirit Airlines flight was based on my billing address, which is not where I live anymore.
Right.
So luckily I was able to, I caught it in time before they actually delivered it, and it's getting held at the FedEx place versus getting delivered to my new home, which I have no rights to anymore. I wasn't so worried if they just dropped it outside. I probably could have driven there and got it, but I didn't want to deal with them because it's not our property anymore. If I get my water before 5 p.m., all of my actual real problems will be over. Okay, I think that's it.
So what did you learn?
So number one, my mom scolded me on not for seeing the future, basically.
For not seeing the future.
Yes, because
she said like a very motherly thing to scold your child for.
Yes, so she said she scolded me for buying a cheap ticket. I said, Mom, I did not buy a cheap ticket. I bought a not absorbently expensive ticket, and my only option was what I got. I did a Southwest and Frontier combo because to fly to Ohio and pay for a rental car, I did about $1,000 for Bean and I to go to a 3-day event for the two of us. If I were to have paid for a United or an American or a Delta, it would have been $1,500 to $2,000. I wasn't willing to on principle. So, and the only reason I checked a bag was because I never was supposed to get on a Spirit Airlines flight. My flight back was on Frontier and my carry-on was supposed to be included. Knowing I was going to be...
Spirit Airlines carry-on is $400.
Right. So it's cheaper to check it. And that's not the reason why I checked it. The reason I checked it is because I knew I was going to be in an airport with my kid, with my backpack, and I just wanted one hand for her and one hand for her carry-on, which is like her frozen luggage. If I added another bag, every time we go get food, every time we go to the bathroom, I would have to lug all of it, and I knew that's the last thing I wanted to do. So I checked it thinking that we were going to make our flight because we had a 5-hour layover. Noah Doc. I should have made my flight.
You'd think that you'd make your flight and Spirit Airlines wouldn't lose your bag. Right, Spirit Airlines?
So my mom got mad at me. What I learned is that my mom would get mad at me for not foreseeing the future, not having a crystal ball. And she's like, next time... She said, and this pisses me off. She said, next time, tell me so I can help you pay for it. I'm almost 50 freaking years old. I don't need, like, I didn't buy the $1,000 flight to Ohio on principle because it shouldn't cost that much.
Where did you have a layover to get to Ohio?
Always. Because Columbus is a, like, very few, like, these places, it's like, there's not a lot of flights going to Ohio. There's not a lot of flights going to San Antonio. So you have to connect. Can I tell you that my sister's not listening to this? I will cut this out. I wanted to go to DC for a quick trip, and I was looking. There are no straight flights either. And Austin's just as bad. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like Dallas or Houston are the best, but those are 4 hours away. I'm not doing that.
Okay, so what you're saying are the things that you've learned are A, don't check your bag. B, either don't tell your mother about it or let your mom pay for the flights. And C, find a new airport. That's basically what we're at. Those are our three learning experiences.
I wouldn't even say that's it, because given the choice of me lugging a bag around and like not having a free hand to hold my child, I will lose that bag. If I have to lose that bag, I'll lose that bag. This is like it's like triage decisions, Noah Doc. So I also get home to San Antonio, and this house, so our goal was to get out of the other house. And then, we were like, okay, it's going to be 5-10% better when we get there. And it is true. It is 5-10% better. But it is super overwhelming to live here because we are just, it's not set up. And there are things that we can't set up until we spend money. And we have to stop spending money right now because I just actually went and got her school supplies. She starts school on Wednesday.
Wednesday?
I know, August 13th, and school time, although she's in kindergarten, so her school supplies are less since she's younger. And it's Texas, so it's cheaper. But, I'm still spending.
I feel like until I have children of my own, I'm still going to be of the mentality that's so early.
It is, though. I even think that.
And why, I wouldn't want to be in school from the beginning of August to the end of June. But I feel like as soon as I have kids, I'm going to be like, oh my God, they get to go to school earlier and stay later. They're going to be out of the house for even longer. Fuck yeah. I know that switch will happen.
Listen, I don't feel that way though. I don't feel that way because I'm not, what it also means is that I have to get into her school schedule, which means I even started before we went to Ohio because I knew that the hour later would help us get her sleeping earlier and waking up earlier. Because school starts at 7:30 for her. She's been sleeping at like midnight and 1 a.m. like in the middle of July. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that 40-hour travel day didn't really
Yeah, I know.
Help you out.
So the other thing is that she threw up all over herself. And we're in this has nothing, like literally, this is just me ranting about my life. We're in like the bathroom at the gas stop place. And I take her clothes. I was like, Bean, I'm going to throw this dress away. She's like, you can't, Mommy. I love this dress. So I take all the disgusting clothes and they're in a sink in my house. She also threw up all over the straps on her car seat. And you should have watched me wash them by microwaving bottled water and using gloves. That is how I washed the throw up out of her seatbelt because it smells so bad and she couldn't get in the car. I know. Okay, Noah. I'm fine. I'm totally fine, listeners.
You sound fine.
So Noah Doc, the lessons that I have learned, and then I did teach in Ohio. I did pretty good. I had 9 students show up there.
That's good.
That's great. So I made some of that $1,000 back. And I missed some of my classes on the way here. So the entrepreneur approach to this is, okay, so we do have our freedom. right? That's the biggest thing, right? We have our freedom. I had the freedom to do this trip. I had the freedom to be late. I had the freedom to like call work off, all this stuff.
True.
And I did make money when I was there. But now I'm spending out and I have to make it back somehow. So, but it's fine because I knew this was going to happen. It's like I can't travel like this really during the school year. So start August 13th, head is down and I'm really working again. And I have the time because she's in school. So we're just getting into the next phase of the year and I'm going to be able to focus again because this summer has been a complete wash for me. It's like between her being home and us moving, it's like my business has gotten so neglected. And yes, I have the freedom to neglect it, but then nothing is happening because I don't have any employees. I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have another perspective that's interesting. So my best friend from high school, her and her ex-husband, they're now business partners. They bought 2 franchises in the Ohio area, and that's their business now. It's so interesting to hear her perspective because her and her partner have 2 Firehouse subs, one in Newark and one in Lancaster, Ohio.
What is Firehouse Sub?
Firehouse subs. They have them in LA too. It's just like a Subway, but better.
Like a Jersey Mike's.
Exactly.
Got it.
They bought 2 stores of a franchise, and I was very up close to her daily activities because she can't find workers in one of her stores because one of the cities that she has a store in is plagued with poverty and, you know, the stories you hear about kind of like in the rural areas of this country. Yeah. And she can't find workers who she can trust, who she can rely on, who don't end up, you know, smoking, doing drugs in the parking lot, who show up for work on time. She has a couple, but she has a really hard time finding people for that store. And her kids are grown up, but basically buying those stores means that she basically has 2 new children because she can't take any day off because the store is always open and there's always a problem and there's always some fire to put out. They have to be ahead of things because of orders and like getting the food in on time, and they have to make sure their workers are there on time and opening the store. And it's a type of entrepreneurism that but it's different to own a franchise than to own your own business the way that we do it.
Totally. And also, the franchise is. What kind of franchise is a huge factor in that. First, like, I have a lot of friends in the restaurant industry, right? And am connected into that world. That world is already suffering. So to have a franchise in that industry sounds like a nightmare to me. That sounds terrible. The idea of a franchise that is serving food. The only one I can even remotely justify is like Menchie's or like a Yogurt Land. Those are the only ones that I'm like, cool, this is frozen. It will never go bad. And it's really hard to fuck this up.
Well, I have to say, no
produce,
sandwiches.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Nightmare from hell.
Well, I have to say, from a business model standpoint, I really think that it's been really great for them because our town is small, very small. You'd only have 1 store in the entire city of that, of that town. Like she has the only one in that town, right? So if you want to get that type of sandwich, you go there. She's had it for 12 years and it's been really successful. She lives 5 minutes away from it. And their wealth has grown, I think, because of it. It's just the upkeep of it. It's crazy.
It's sort of, I think I talked about having this conversation with a family friend of mine a while ago, which was like my family's business has pretty much always been around. We own property, we rent the property. And then I have a family friend of ours who owns property and he owns the businesses in that property.
Okay.
And I'll never forget like having a conversation with our family friend. And I said, listen, my father does it this way. You do it that way. I'd love to hear about your experience and, all that. And the first thing he said was, well, your dad is much smarter than I am because it's a nightmare to own the business.
Okay, wait.
And
Reverse that again. Tell me which ones they own. So he says that your dad has the better situation, and your dad has
he just rents property.
Right,
He doesn't own the businesses inside the property.
Right.
Whereas this friend of ours, he does own the business, or he does own some of them. And, that's how he does it. Because the upkeep of the business, each of those businesses is so much more work. There's so much more that goes into it. And yes, it's difficult to own property. The water heater blows up and your tenant or you forgot to pay for the water bill, or you need to buy a new roof or whatever, all those things. But you know what you don't need to deal with? You don't need to deal with making sure you have enough lettuce in the refrigerator. And you don't need to deal with making sure that your staff is on time and showing up to do their work. And you don't have to do any of those things. You just make sure the building is in order and you collect a rent check. And that is way easier said than done. But, the less factors there are, theoretically, the easier it is. And as soon as you start to own the business and the minutia of all those little cogs in the machine, it's a lot more. It's a lot more.
Right. And then the thing we haven't talked about is customer service.
Oh, well.
The customer service aspect of it, because, some people have legitimate complaints. Others do not. I know Rachel and Brett over at the Loft, that was their job. They would just field emails all day long, and sometimes they wouldn't even tell the teachers because the complaints were so outlandish, or they were just like, okay, well, what do you want? You're in a group class. It's not about you.
Well, yeah, that's customer service. First of all, you will never, and this is in all things, this is not just customer service, you will never make everybody happy all the time. It's just not possible. It will never happen, period. You will, and not everybody can have a great day every day, right? Like your staff, the people who come visit you, whatever it is, nobody is at 100% of the time. And yeah, you could do the best that you can. You can get the best possible staff that you can. You can train them the best that you can. But customer service is not innate. Like, people do not naturally either behave well as employees or, have ever worked in those situations. Like, I have always said everyone should work in the service industry for at least a part of their life, because I don't think it's a secret that I hate people on this podcast. I don't think that's a secret. I think every one of our listeners knows that I hate people. And, there's something to working in the service industry that really shows you how fucking terrible people are and teaches you how to put up with it and how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And to either be show up with a smile and a wave, or that that's not your thing. That customer service might not be your thing. And it's really hard. It's a great lesson. Like I said, I think everybody should have to do it, because nothing beats a short-tempered family of 12 that comes into your restaurant 5 minutes before closing, and they're gonna order everything on the menu and send back 90% of it because it wasn't done the way that they wanted. Like, nothing can train you for that moment.
Now, did this happen to you?
Oh God, I had such good ones.
Where were you working at? What restaurant were you working at?
My first restaurant job in New York was at a place called Fish, and I feel like I can say all of the things that I want to say, because the restaurant doesn't exist anymore, and I was there during the good times. Okay. And that restaurant, for first of all, it was a fish restaurant. Obviously, it's called fish. So we did, oysters and lobster and things like that. It was great. And I made pretty damn good money because none of those things are particularly cheap. And we had beer and wine, and it was awesome. It was a great spot. We, for some reason, it was in the West Village, Greenwich Village area. For some reason, we would be open till like 1 o'clock in the morning. I think the kitchen closed around like 12:30, almost like clockwork. For 3 to 4 days a week, we would have people come in right before the kitchen closed. And I mean like groups of 6 to 10. And this was not like a big restaurant. This was like railroad style building, New York City. Like the whole place was like 2 tables, wide, and then like 15 tables deep. And we just put a bunch of tables together, and they would sit there till 3, 4 in the morning, drinking. And, at some point we would just be like, all right, kitchen's closed. You can't order anything more. But they would just sit there. They would just sit there, and that was it. And you just have to deal with it. You just have to suck it up and deal with it. And, oh my God, we had that regularly. And it's, nothing can train you for the frustration, but it's all in how you deal with it. It's all in how you just like, okay, this is the way that it is. This is what we're going to do. Put a smile on your face, wave. The only things you can do at some point is tell them the kitchen is closed. The cook left. We can't make you any more food. And the bartender left. We can't make you any more drinks. They can sit there as long as they want. You can put the chairs up. You can turn the lights on brighter. You can start mopping the floor. You can do all those things. But if they don't want to get up, they don't have to. And, you just gotta suck it up and deal with it.
Oh my God. See, I love when we go down tangents because we get these stories out of us that we never would have thought about. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But at the same time, it's one of the reasons why I love the restaurant industry. And like on the flip side of that, I've also, like in Mammoth, the restaurant that I worked at in Mammoth, like we would have people who were regulars who would come in fairly late, and we would stay open because we want to. Because we know we're going to make more money.
Yeah.
We know we're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
We know like they're going to buy 3 bottles of wine and tip us 40%, like things like that. That's the other end of the spectrum. It's like, okay, we're here to make money. We're here to make this work, and let's enjoy it. Like, let's have fun. But to your friend's point about like not being able to find the right people and things like that, if you don't have the right people who are of that mentality,
I know.
it's really hard. And not everybody's going to have that mentality all the time. When I was working at that fish place, that was peak circus training for me. So I was up. I was also very young, so like I could take it. But, I was up till 3, 4 in the morning working and drinking behind the bar. And then I'd be at training by 9 a.m. and I'd train for 10 hours. So like that takes it out of you. And every once in a while, that group of 10 would show up at 12:29 a.m. and I'd be like, fuck, I do not want to do this right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have the biggest smile on my face. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to take care of it. But like, I'm not going to do it with, I'm not going to do it with Sesame Street level enthusiasm.
Noah. Okay. So are we saying that Noah Doc would never buy a franchise?
Noah Doc would buy a Menchie's franchise.
Is that the only one you can imagine doing? Never say never. Never say never, I guess.
I'm never gonna say never. What? I would never do Chick-fil-A. There's no way I could do a Chick-fil-A.
You wouldn't have to work on Sundays.
It's true.
They're very serious about that.
It's true. And I couldn't do a Chick-fil-A. I think that's way too much work. Menchie's, trying to think of like other chains, like car chains, like a Pet Boys or something like that. I don't think I would do that. What other chains are there?
Oh my God. Anything that's like a retail store in a mall, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think so. I don't think so. For me, like
H&M.
yeah, something like that. I mean,
Sephora.
these people behind these stores are rich. You know that, right? For sure.
I
It's a
couldn't
pain in
do
the
like
ass,
a
though.
coffee store, coffee shop. Ooh, Krispy Kreme. Maybe I could do a Krispy Kreme.
I don't know.
I could get behind a Krispy Kreme. Maybe really dessert items. I think dessert items I can get behind.
You know, in Texas, they have a lot of these, like, they're not full restaurants. They're like Salad and Go, or they have a place called Swig that's just drinks, and it's a drive-through, but it's not, you can't sit inside. And I bet you they've crunched the numbers, and it's like very much worth it to not have to deal with that dine-in piece of it.
Well, I mean, isn't the most like successful business a laundromat? Like, isn't the most successful thing that you can like
Yeah, like not
purchase
sexy.
a laundromat?
Yeah. Or like a gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you buy a laundromat, it's like a 95% success rate, like that you will make money.
Yes.
Like,
I have read that.
That's that. I'd do that. I'd buy a laundromat.
10 years later, it's going to be Noah's wash and fluff.
Ooh, I know what I would do. A car wash. A car wash.
Oh, you would do a car wash?
I would do a car wash.
Okay. Hey, Bean wants to say something to you, but you know what? I don't even think this is a half an episode. This episode is going to be called When It Rains, It Pours, and I'm not going to have to repeat myself with Amanda. Oh, okay. Okay, Amanda wants to tell you something. Hold on one second. No, I mean,
Bean.
Sorry, Bean. Here, come here, Bean.
Now you have a crazy brain.
Thank you. I appreciate that, actually. I think that's a compliment. Did you mean it as a compliment?
Yes.
Okay, good.
But still, you are still Mister, and that's still bad.
Okay, fine. I'll be Mr. and that'll be bad. The crazy brain, which is good. Okay.
All right, my friend.
Wait, I have final follow-ups to your experience. Here's how I'm going to tie the bow on your experience and entrepreneurship. You ready? Credit cards that have points for airlines. That is huge. And I think that's huge as an entrepreneur. It's something that I know my father instilled in me and taught me.
Yes.
And I use like one or two credit cards. They are all for airlines, and they are literally for this type of shit that just, because Spirit and Frontier and getting on these, I've never heard a good story. I've never heard a good story where somebody either A, books one of those or gets stuck somewhere else and ends up booking one of those. It never ends up well. And so that is something that I live by, is credit cards with points towards airlines. And I just always use them. Even if, yes, it might be a little bit more expensive sometimes. And there are totally exceptions to that rule. Like Spirit Airlines is a nightmare. We all know it. Even Spirit Airlines knows it. But to fly from Burbank to Las Vegas on Spirit Airlines, that 45-minute flight is a total exception to the rule. Works every time and is easy and brilliant. Love it. Frontier, there's a couple exceptions to that rule. I don't necessarily know them because I've only flown it once. But, there's some exceptions. But for the most part, that's what I do. My second thought to this is the airport thing, which is, it's such a hard thing and something that I personally am dealing with right now with some things that are sort of on my list and on my horizons, um, which is like, how do you get from point A to point B in the most constructive, productive way? And I think that is something that, as an entrepreneur, is a really important question to ask before you do anything. And I know it feels like something that's further down the line. I know it feels like it's something that's like, oh, I'll figure that out later, or I can put up with it for a certain amount of time.
Right.
And
Like what gigs you take, what workshops you take because of how you're going to get there. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I do agree, like, I think I talked about this the other day when I was talking about Bali and scuba diving. Like, I can put up with anything for 2 hours. I can do anything for 2 hours. No matter how miserable, I can do it for 2 hours. And I think that as entrepreneurs, a lot of people think, okay, this isn't ideal, but I can put up with it for a year or 2 years or whatever it might be. And I think that's an important conversation to have with yourself about what are you willing to put up with. And I think that travel and how you get to your job or how you get to this work or how you're more easily able to get places is super important. And I'm going to bring up my father again. My father lives in Los Angeles, California, does work in Denver. And I asked him a long time ago, why do you work in Denver? Why do you have real estate in Denver? And his answer to me was so simple. Denver is an hour and 45-minute flight. LAX to Denver International Airport is so easy. I can leave in the morning and be back home in the evening. There are like 20 flights, all on United, which is what he and I are just total point whores about. And that's what he does. And so when we talk about real estate, when we talk about, okay, where are good places to buy, we really stick to what is a 2-hour distance from where you are right now.
Yeah, a straight flight from your airport.
What is this? What is a straight flight? Like, anytime I bring up any place, there are places in the United States that have great markets that are growing, all of that, but we look at how to get there and what it would take to get there. And it's like 2 flights, a layover, can't get back in a single day, have to spend more than 2 nights there. And how does that factor into being an entrepreneur? Well, first of all, if you have to go somewhere that's going to take 2 flights, A, it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
B, now, if you can't get back home in that single evening, now you're paying for a hotel somewhere else.
Yep.
Now you're paying for a rental car somewhere else. Now you're doing A, B, C, D. These costs start to add up. So there's always an opportunity cost. There's always a time cost. There's always a financial cost. Yes. Finding the balance of those things is really important and important to think about right from the beginning. I know, like, for me, with real estate, with all those things, like, it's something I'm thinking about a lot right now. Like, where do I want to be? And what does that give me access to? If I live in Mammoth Lakes, California, my access to things is very small. But if I live in Denver, Colorado, Denver's the biggest airport in the country. My access to things is basically infinite. I can go anywhere. I'm in the center of the country. I'm basically 2 hours from the majority of the country. Like, that is something that I think about it when I'm looking at where do I want to live? What do I want to be doing? How do I want to approach whatever it is? I know, and maybe this is like a good segue for your conversation with Amanda later, but like, Amanda, she bounces around so much.
I know.
And it's amazing. And had that when I lived in New York. I do that much less now that I'm in Los Angeles. When I was in New York, I'd have 2 or 3 days a week in Pennsylvania. I'd have 2 or 3 days a week in Jersey City. I'd have 2 or 3 days a week in, in Manhattan, and 2 days in Brooklyn. And I would just bounce around all the time. And it was something that made me crazy because I would just be all over the place. It was convenient ever. The only thing that I could possibly make convenient was where I lived. And I realized while I lived in New York that living in Brooklyn wasn't convenient, and living in Manhattan wasn't convenient. And that's why I lived in Jersey City, because I could get to Pennsylvania with only paying a $3 toll instead of paying a $40 toll. I could get into the city on the subway quicker than I could from Brooklyn. And it took me a couple of years to figure that out, but that ability to not have to bounce around even further, knowing that I was going to bounce around like a crazy person already. And to a certain, I do think Amanda thinks about that because she is very central to all of the places that she goes. Now, they're far, but they're far in either direction. They're not she's not living right next to one studio and has to drive 2.5 hours to get to the other. She's smack dab in the middle of both of them. So she's an hour each way or whatever it might be. And I think that's a super important thing as an entrepreneur to think about. Where are you? What does that do for you? And what are you trying to access? And for you, the not having an airport that goes everywhere sucks. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Ohio. I mean, I go once every 10 years. So no big deal, right?
No big deal.
But it does have to, for example, I was looking for tickets for NECA. That's a thing because, right, because it's either Hartford, Boston, or New York City. New York City is a 3-hour drive. You know what I'm saying? Because Bradenboro, it's in the middle of nowhere. That's part of the, glitter of it. That's kind of the glow of NECA. It's in the middle of nowhere. So, taking these things into consideration, although I am having good luck with Austin, Dallas, and Houston, which are, there's 4 huge cities in this state, which is wonderful. Okay, Bean's losing her mind. Come here, Bean. Here.
You're crazy.
You're crazy.
I am not.
Yeah, we miss you.
Okay, bye, Mr. Crazy Noah.
Bye, Miss Crazy Bean.
Bye, safe travels.
Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find Amanda Ritchie at Grounded in Flight on Instagram and at Noah Doc on Instagram, as well as Red Flags app. And me, Kerry Wee, you can find at wrapyourheadaroundsilks.com. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We have so much more coming at you, including guests that are in this art world, that are blazing their way through new businesses, and just more banter from us. Thank you for listening. This is The Artist Entrepreneur.